Hello viewers, I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India is no longer just practicing in the global innovation race, it's setting the pace. Driving this transformation is a powerful synergy between government, academia and industry, all working together to develop next generation technologies. With Prime Minister Modi's Make AI in India vision gaining momentum, the country is rapidly positioning itself as a global leader in deep tech, shaping not just its own future but influencing the direction of innovation worldwide. Take a look.
India is starting a bold new course of innovation, embracing cutting-edge technologies, nurturing homegrown talent, and fostering cross-sector partnerships to drive transformational growth. With a clear vision and strategic execution, the nation is not merely preparing for the future, it is striving to shape it. In a landmark moment for India's deep tech ambitions, Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently addressed the Yugmo Innovation Conclave at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. The event convened a powerful alliance of leaders from government, academia, science, and industry, signifying a united national commitment to technological progress. Named Yugma, a Sanskrit term meaning confluence, the conclave represented the strategic alignment of diverse sectors essential to building the technologies of tomorrow. It highlighted the urgency of accelerating the journey from idea to product and advancing the nation's capabilities under the Make AI in India vision.
मुझे विश्वास है भारत की इनोवेशन कैपेसिटी और डीप टेक में भारत की भूमिका को बढ़ाने के लिए हम जो प्रयास कर रहे हैं उसे इस आयोजन से और बल मिलेगा। आज आईआईटी कानपुर और आईआईटी बॉम्बे में एआई, इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम और बायोसाइंस, बायोटेक्नोलॉजी, हेल्थ एंड मेडिसिन के सुपर हब्स की शुरुआत हो रही है।
India's vision is already taking shape on the ground as India moves decisively from ideation to implementation. The establishment of super hubs in AI, intelligent systems, biosciences, and biotechnology marks a significant step in building the deep tech infrastructure needed for the future. India's success stories are no longer confined within its borders, they are being watched, studied, and emulated globally. Whether through pioneering space missions like Chandrayaan, breakthrough work in quantum science, or the rapid development of COVID-19 vaccines, India is asserting itself as a frontrunner in science and technology. The country is emerging not just as a hub of innovation, but as a source of global inspiration, redefining what it means to lead in the knowledge economy.
आज सफल प्रयोग भारत में किए जाते हैं और बाकी दुनिया उसका अनुसरण करती है, चाहे वो कोविड का वैक्सीन हो, चाहे वो चंद्रयान हो, चाहे वो क्वांटम हो. India is no longer a follower, ladies and gentlemen. On the contrary, India today beckons others to follow her.
Building on the momentum, India is stepping into a new era of innovation, entrepreneurship, and global leadership. One such initiative is a landmark collaboration between the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, and the Wadhwani Foundation, a high-impact, non-for-profit tech organization resulting in the launch of a state-of-the-art school of artificial intelligence and intelligent systems aimed at advancing India's leadership in AI-driven innovation.
मुझे लगता है सब साथ में चलें और ये युगम की स्पिरिट लगाएं, एकेडेमिया, इंडस्ट्री और गवर्नमेंट की कोलैबोरेशन बढ़ाएं, तो इंडिया ग्लोबल सुपर पावर जरूर बनेगा.
As India advances confidently on the global innovation frontier, its deep tech revolution is no longer a distant aspiration, it is a living, evolving reality. Through visionary leadership, strategic collaborations, and a relentless drive to innovate, the nation is not just building technologies for tomorrow, but laying the foundation for a self-reliant, future-ready Bharat.
In Pakistan's Balochistan province, what's unfolding is not just a human rights crisis, it's a calculated campaign of terror. Peaceful activists are being abducted, tortured, and in many cases, killed. Entire communities live in fear as the state targets anyone daring to speak out. The Baloch Yakjehti Committee, despite its peaceful mission, has become a main target of this violent crackdown. With no access for human rights monitors and journalists under threat, these atrocities continue in silence. A report.
A grave human rights emergency is rapidly escalating in Pakistan's troubled province of Balochistan. According to human rights defenders and local civil society groups, the Pakistani state has launched a brutal campaign of repression against the Baloch population, characterized by enforced disappearances, extrajudicial executions, arbitrary detentions, and violent crackdowns on peaceful protests. Over the past 2 months, dozens of civilians have vanished without a trace, only to be discovered later in remote areas, their bodies bearing horrific evidence of torture and abuse. Entire communities now live under a state of siege, where midnight raids, intimidation, and widespread fear have become part of daily life. Witnesses report routine incursions by security forces, systematic harassment of families of the missing, and the targeting of anyone associated with civil rights advocacy.
A severe human rights crisis is unfolding in Balochistan. The Pakistan state has stepped up its violent crackdown against the Baloch people. Over the past 2 months, dozens have been forcibly disappeared or killed. Peaceful protests have been violently crushed, and human rights defenders, along with their families, have been abducted and harassed. From February to April 2025, security forces reportedly abducted, tortured, and executed Baloch civilians in areas such as Mashke, Barkhan, Khuzdar, Turbat Kalat, and Panjgur. Bodies of the missing were later found in remote areas with clear signs of torture.
The Baloch Yakjehti Committee, a peaceful grassroots movement advocating for justice and constitutional rights, has become a primary target of this state-led repression. Despite its non-violent stance, BYC members have faced a relentless campaign of harassment, abductions, and the psychological warfare. Multiple organizers have reportedly been picked up by security forces, subjected to torture during detention, and then released with explicit warnings to abandon their activism or face fatal consequences. Others remain missing to this day.
These actions are part of a coordinated campaign of state-sponsored violence. The Baloch Yakjehti Committee, a peaceful organization fighting for constitutional rights and justice for the victims, has been a key target. Despite its non-violent approach, BYC has been experiencing arrest, harassment, surveillance, smear campaigns, and overt state violence. Following the armed attack on Jafar Express, an incident not connected to BYC, the state falsely linked our peaceful movement to the attack to justify a wider crackdown. However, even before this incident, the state had already begun a violent campaign against BYC. We documented targeted killings, threats to our organizers, and direct intimidation long before the Jaffa incident.
While the Pakistani state claims these operations are part of a national security agenda, the evidence suggests a campaign of political extermination. Human rights organizations are barred from entering many regions, and journalists face bans, threats, and arrests when reporting from Balochistan. As the world watches in silence, a generation of Baloch is being silenced not by war but by a state-sanctioned strategy of fear and repression. The cries for justice echo across Balochistan, but in the face of bullets, silence, and shadows, no one is listening.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
India signed a deal with France on April 28 to buy 26 Rafale M marine fighter aircraft worth 630 billion rupees for its navy. The acquisition is part of India's goals to modernize its military, wean itself of its Soviet origin equipment, and boost domestic weapons production after being the world's largest arms importer for years. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba held talks in Manila on April 29 with Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to advance security and economic ties between two of Washington's closest Asian allies amid rising tensions in the Indo-Pacific. Ishiba's visit to the Philippines comes at a crucial time, with both countries confronting growing concerns over regional security and China's assertiveness in the South China Sea, while navigating global trade tensions sparked by sweeping US tariffs and increased friction between the United States and China. Philippine and the US soldiers participated in annual joint military exercises involving air and missile defenses north of Manila on April 27. This type of training is absolutely invaluable to us, said John Lehane, 3rd Marine Littoral Regiment officer, in an interview after the exercises, aimed at improving the ability of both forces to detect and neutralize aerial and missile threats.
Moving on. The horrific Pahalgam terror attack has once again exposed Pakistan's role as the epicenter of global terrorism. With 26 innocent lives lost, the world can no longer turn a blind eye to Islamabad's state-sponsored terror machinery. India's decisive actions send a firm message: enough is enough. From London to Paris, the Indian diaspora is rising, demanding justice and accountability. The bloodshed must end, and the world must unite to isolate and act against the terror networks thriving on Pakistani soil.
The barbaric terror attack in Pahalgam, which claimed 26 innocent lives, has shocked the global community. Carried out by Pakistani-backed terrorists, the assault is a grim reminder of Islamabad's ongoing support for cross-border terrorism. In response, India has taken unprecedented measures, suspending the Indus Waters Treaty, sealing the Atari Wagah border, and halting visa services for Pakistani nationals, signaling zero tolerance for state-sponsored terror. World leaders, including those from the US, UK, and Russia, strongly condemned the attack and targeting of civilians. Meanwhile, the Indian diaspora is rallying in support. In London, demonstrators gathered outside India House, waving the national flag and protesting against Pak-sponsored terrorism.
We are really saddened by what has happened, and that's why we have come over here to support our Indian community that lives abroad. But our hearts are always with our motherland, and it's happening again and again, and that's what saddens us. We are doing a peaceful demonstration over here. I know there are people from the other side standing over there shouting slogans, instigating us, but that's not us. We are here to tell them that they have to stop terrorizing us. We do not support this. Please go away, and if you have to do something, do in your own.
The protest in London sent a clear message. Pakistan can no longer mask its complicity. Its soil breeds terror, and the world is watching.
मैं एक भारतीय नागरिक हूँ और जम्मू कश्मीर के एक हिंदू हूँ। आज मैं यहाँ पर आई हूँ क्योंकि जो पहलगाम में टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ है, जिसको पाकिस्तान ने करवाया है, पाकिस्तानी टेररिस्ट आतंकवादी इन्वॉल्व थे, उसके खिलाफ यहाँ प्रोटेस्ट करने के लिए आई हूँ। जम्मू कश्मीर में ये पहला हादसा ऐसा नहीं है आतंकी जो पाकिस्तान ने कराया हो। ऐसे बहुत से हादसे हो चुके हैं, ऐसे बहुत से बार प्राणकोट, डड्डीकोट में, राजौरी के डांगरी में, जहां पर हिंदुओं की शिनाख्त करके उनको पहचान के सिलेक्टिव टारगेटिंग की गई है। जैसा पहलगाम में हमने देखा कि उनको कहा गया कि आप बताइए आप कौन से धर्म से हैं, ये चेक किया गया कि वो कौन से धर्म से हैं, उनको कुछ कुछ पढ़ने के लिए बोला गया।
Not just in London, but the Indian diaspora around the world has been staging protests in response to the incident. From Canada to France and beyond, anger runs deep within the Indian diaspora.
Citizens ਨੂੰ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਮਾਰਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਬਹਾਦਰੀ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਅੱਤਵਾਦ ਦਾ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਧਰਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਈਮਾਨ ਹੈ। अतवादी सिर्फ एको बोली है, वो है गोली। इन्होंने विच इन्नी हिम्मत नहीं है कि हिंदुस्तान की फौज का सामना कर सकन। किसी भी अतवाद ना कि पाकिस्तान की आर्मी के विच भी ये हिम्मत नहीं है कि हिंदुस्तान की फौज का सामना कर सकन।
For decades, Pakistan has harbored, funded and trained terror groups to destabilize the region. From Pahalgam to Pulwama, the blood trails leads back to Islamabad. No denial or diplomatic spin can hide the truth. Pakistan has become a hub of terror and the world is finally taking notice.
India's rich tapestry of silk saris, like the famed Banarsi, reflects centuries of tradition. Yet, among them, Muga silk from Sualkuchi in Assam gleams with a charm all its own. Known as the royal silk, its natural golden luster, unmatched strength and ageless beauty weave a story of elegance and endurance. Crafted lovingly by skilled artisans, each Muga sari is more than attire. It's a legacy often valued in lakhs and treasured for generations.
Nestled in the tranquil valleys of Assam, the village of Sualkuchi hums with melodic rhythm of handlooms. In almost every home, skilled hands, often those of women, weave shimmering Muga silk into saris of timeless beauty, sustaining both a cherished heritage and a way of life.
আৰু মই হল এতে কাম কৰো আৰু মালিকে ঠিকে ঠিকে পইচা দি আছে আৰু ইয়াত মই কাম কৰা 20 বছৰ মান হল আৰু এনেকে খৰচ চলাই আছো আৰু ঘৰতো পইচা দিব লাগে অলপ চলপ সেইকাৰণে আৰু এতে কাম কৰিব লগা হৈছে
মই খালত বহু মোৰ লৰা ছোৱালী তিনটা মই ইটো কাম কৰি লৰা ছোৱালী পঢ়ি আছো আৰু মোৰ হাজবেণ্ডো হাজিৰা কৰে মালিকে আমাক পইচা লাগাখিনি দে আমি এনেকৈ খাই বৈ চুলি পুলি পৰাই আছো আমি
The family's work is overseen by Nayam Mani, who trades in handcrafted Muga silk saris. Each sari is one-of-a-kind masterpiece, with every color, pattern and motif woven entirely by hand. Their exceptional artistry has earned admiration and customers across the globe.
अभी तो मुगा सिल्क बनाता ही हूँ हम लोग फिर भी अच्छा मार्केट है मुगा सिल्क का साड़ी का ही नहीं ड्रेस मटेरियल के लिए भी अच्छा रेस्पेक्ट है जैसे कि बाहर में भी एक्सपोर्ट होता है अच्छा एक्सपोर्ट होता है बाकी चल रहा हो हम लोग काम करके हैप्पी हूँ इसमें
The Sericulture Department showcases the fascinating journey of Muga silk, which begins with the silkworm. The larvae are fed leaves from som and suzu trees, and within a month they spin golden cocoons. Blending tradition with science, the cocoons are treated with hot water or steam to ease silk extraction. Using reeling machines, the fine fibers are drawn out, spun into stronger threads, and finally woven into stunning Muga silk saris on handlooms.
Muga silk basically UV protection है, ultraviolet protection है. Number 2, वो high longevity है. नंबर 3 स्किन का ज़रा आराम लगता है वो जो मुगा सिल्क पहनता है वो समर सीजन का ठंडा लगता है वो जो विंटर सीजन गर्म लगता है वो मुगा सिल्क और हाई लॉन्जिविटी 200 इयर्स मुगा सिल्क लॉन्जिविटी है और मुगा सिल्क वो अदर स्टेट मिलता नहीं वो जो ओनली असम वो मुगा सिल्क जोग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन है
In 2021-22, India produced a total of 192 metric tons of Muga silk, with Assam contributing nearly 87%. Muga silk production supports the livelihoods of millions in Assam, making it a vital part of the rural economy. Traders in Sualkuchi are also experiencing growing success as rising demand has begun attracting visitors from across the country and abroad.
लोगों का रिस्पांस तो अच्छा ही होता है ये तो आजकल तो बाहर से भी लोग आता है फॉरेन से भी लोग आता है यहाँ पे घूमने देखने हमारा इंडस्ट्री देखने आता है मुगा सिल्क देखने आते हैं और एक मुगा का फार्म भी है हमारा वालकुशी में तो वो फार्म देखने आता है, हमारा कपड़ा देखने आता है, लेते हैं। ज़्यादा रिस्पॉन्स मिल रहा है अभी, अच्छा लगता है।
Muga silk is more than just a fabric. It's a living symbol of Assam's rich identity and timeless tradition. In villages like Sualkuchi, this heritage thrives in all its brilliance. Here, the artisans are not just preserving a legacy, they are weaving a stronger, more vibrant regional economy thread by golden thread.
In every thread of Muga, Assam whispers its golden legacy. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.